مصلحا ومجددا فارنوا بنظر طاهر وجنان.
Let us start with the first allegation of Imtiaz. He says that Ahmadi Muslims believe that without Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam, Islam is dead, rotten, and poisonous. Now, what he doesn't tell the people is that what these texts are saying is that if you deny the Imam Mahdi and the Messiah and you stay in the misguided firqah, the groups of Islam which claim that they are the true Islam, Deobandis, Barelvi, Shia, Ahl Hadith, that is a dead Islam. And these people themselves also believe this. For example, go to a Barelvi, ask him, is Ahl Hadith the living Islam? He will say, no, they are kuffar outside of Islam. Ask any Deobandi, is Ahl Hadith the real Islam? They will say these people are Khawarij, Kilabun Nar. They are dogs of the hellfire. This is what their books say, right? Ask any Ahl Hadith, what do you think about Deobandis? They will say they're mushrik bid'ati, meaning they are not following Islam, they're dead spiritually and they're following a rotten version of Islam, meaning they aren't following the true teachings taught by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is what these texts are saying, that these people are not following what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed them to follow. Ask any Muslim, when Imam Mahdi comes, those who deny him, will their Islam be living or dead? They'll agree. In fact, I will show today that these people accept that Islam in our age is dead, meaning we do not have the Islamic spirit. And how would you get the Islamic spirit? With the revival, which was to happen with the Imam Mahdi and Messiah. Now, the first reference he presented was of Zikri Habib, where some people were saying that we should publish the books of the Messiah without his name. And then Hazrat Ahmad said that why would you present a dead Islam to them? Meaning, why hide that the Imam Mahdi has come and revived Islam and leave them misguided? Even though the Prophet Muhammad said, you must accept the Imam Mahdi when he comes. What is wrong with this passage? There is nothing wrong. This is a fact, and this is what they themselves believe, that without the Imam Mahdi, Islam will not be Islam. And I will prove it from their own writing shortly as well. Then in Silsila Ahmadiyya, in this reference, it's also explained that their Islam without the promised Messiah cannot be considered the true Islam. It is a rotten Islam because it's moving so far away from the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For example, if I tell you that Islam believes that you can go to the graves and ask for help, is that a living Islam? Of course not. If I tell you you can go, go into the mosques and you can start speaking to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and begging him for help, or if I tell you that Allah, his arsh, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he's buried, the sand he has touched, is greater than the arsh of Allah, is that living Islam? Of course it's not. If I tell you that the Prophet ﷺ was touched by Satan at birth, is that a living Islam? No one would agree that that's living Islam, right? And I'll show a few more examples just so people are aware of what is really being said here, because it's a fact which no one can actually deny, right? So let me give you, brothers, some more examples for you to understand why we say that Islam without the Messiah cannot be a living Islam. And you will, any Muslim, this is not even about Ahmadiyya right now. This is a concept that all of these people believe in. Now, if I tell you that Khatme Nabuwat, right, means that there's 12 Imams greater than Anbiya, God forbid, is this a living Islam I'm presenting? Or if I say Ali is God, like the Nusayriya Shias, is this a living Islam? Of course not. If I tell you the Khulafa were liars and hypocrites like the Shia, is that a living Islam, a dead Islam, or poisonous Islam? If I tell you the Prophet Prophet's knowledge of unseen is like the donkey's Naudhu billah min dhalik, or like a stupid child like the Deobandis believe, is that a living Islam or a dead Islam? Or if I tell you that the Prophet Muhammad went crazy Naudhu billah min dhalik, is that a living Islam or a dead Islam? You need to tell me the answers to this. If I tell you God can lie, is that a living Islam or a dead Islam? Or if I tell you it's better to think of adultery and namaz and donkeys than to think of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, naudhu billah min dhalik, is that a living Islam or dead Islam? You need to tell me. If I tell you the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was misguided before becoming a Nabi, is that a living Islam or a dead Islam? If I tell you prophets were sinners and mushrikeen like Adnan believes, is that a living Islam or dead Islam? If I tell you that Jesus will physically kill disbelievers for not accepting Islam, is that a living Islam or a dead Islam? You need to tell me this. Or if I tell you that Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, anything he says is the haq, and anything anyone else says is misguidance, and then Rashid Ahmad Gangohi tells you that Allah can lie, are you trying to tell me that that's a living Islam? Why do you think Zubair Ali Zai Sahibi said that these people are outside of Ahl Sunnah? Because it's a dead Islam. Barelviyat, Deobandiyat, Ahl Hadith, this is not a living Islam. This is misguidance. It's using the name of Islam to misguide the masses and drag them into the hellfire. Why should we not be clear cut on this? We have some brothers waiting. We will take them once we're done with this presentation. Then Hazrat Ahmad saying that without me, this is a poison. Of course, because without him, you have Barelviyat, Deobandiyat, Ahl Hadith, and Shiaism, Nachis, Chakravis. They're all misguided. It's not going to be the pure version of Islam. Now, ironically enough, this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught. But these people have nothing to do with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is why these people have issues with Islam Ahmadiyya. Look at this clear-cut, beautiful statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He drew a line and he said anything apart from this line is the way of Satan, meaning dead Islam, rotten Islam, poisonous Islam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that la ya'tiyanna ala ummati ma ata ala bani Israel. My ummah will become like Bani Israel, footstep by footstep. Is Bani Israel a living faith right now? Judaism, is it a living faith or a dead faith? Duribat alayhimu dhilla. They are humiliated and they have been afflicted with the basement and poverty and punishment min Allah. And Allah's anger is with them. So is that a living religion? No. In the same way, when the Muslims have become like the Jews, how can you think that's a pure form of Islam? Now, really important, Ahmad Raza Khan Barelvi. This person has ruined Islam. And these people want us to say that Ahmad Raza Khan's Islam is a living Islam. Now, I will show you what Ahmad Raza Khan has said. And then you have to tell me, is this a living Islam or not? Or is it a rotten Islam? In fact, Mohammed Imtiaz, you love Ahmad Rida Khan so much, Adnan loves him and says, Rahmullah for him. Look what he says about your God. Forget Anbiya right now. He hasn't even left Allah. He says, Wahhabiyon ke jhoothe khuda, the lying gods of the Wahhabis. And he says, your God is naudhu billah min dhalik. I'm free of this blasphemy, gustakhi, and kufr. I'm completely free of it. He says your God is a homosexual. The Wahhabis' God is this, and then the Deobandi God, he says he steals and lies. So is this living Islam what he's presenting to you? If it's living Islam, then tell us, then we can inshallah look into it and reject it again and again, but at least be clear and have a standard. Then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself said that in the end times, "Lo kana al-imanu inda thuraya," that faith will leave the earth and it will go to the highest star in the sky. "La nalahu rajulun min haulai." Then a man will bring it back. So you have to tell me that if the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that this will happen to the ummah in the end times, is he saying that the ummah will be a living religion at that time when this is the case before the person brings iman back? Of course not, because if iman is at the highest star, that means the Muslims aren't truly practicing. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself said it's a dead Islam, poisonous, rotten Islam. He said, "Yushiku an ya'ti ala nasi zamanun." A time is coming upon the people. Nothing will be left of Islam. La yabqa min al-Islam illa ismuhu. Nothing will be left of Islam except its name, meaning dead, rotten, poisonous Islam. Wala yabqa min al-Quran illa rasmuhu. Nothing of the Quran except its words. Masajiduhum amira wa hiya kharabu min al-huda. Their mosques will be full, devoid of any guidance. Ulama'uhum sharrum man tahta adim as-sama. Their ulama will be the worst of creatures under the earth. Min indihim takhrujul fitnatu wa fihim ta'ud. From dumb fitna will release and to dumb it will return. Is this a living Islam? You brothers will never answer because this is hypocrisy. You hide the prophecies of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "My ummah is like rain. I don't know what is the best, the start or the finish of the ummah," because of course in the end times Messiah and Mahdi would come to revive the faith. Shah Waliullah Sahib Muhaddis. In fact, before going to these references, I want to share one more important hadith that just came to mind. And this hadith, I was just studying it the other day. It's a statement of Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu. And these people need to start reading, because I think reading Ihtisab-e-Qadianiyat has ruined their minds and they don't think anymore. They don't look at what the prophecies of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were. And they just want to attack Ahmadiyya. They do not know what world they're living in. And they also do not know that these people, they're just completely lost. They're trying to say everything is Islam nowadays. Now, this is Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, right? Okay, the cover is a bit strange. Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba. Let me open a different version. Okay, it's actually fine. No issue. This is Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, narration of Hazrat Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anh. And look what he says. Now you have to tell me, is this living Islam or not, right? It can't be living and dead. So he beautifully says, يَأْتِي عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ يَجْتَمِعُونَ وَيُصَلُّونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ وَلَيْسَ فِيهِمْ مُؤْمِنٌ. That a time will come, the mosque will be full. The entire mosque will be full, but there will not even be one believer in that entire mosque. Imagine. And there's also a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that just came to mind right now, and I'll pull up the scan right now and add it to this presentation. Really powerful hadith. This also is mentioning the same concept. This is of Abi Dawud, Sunan Abi Dawud, and I'm just getting a good resolution scan quickly so that everyone can have these references and understand the hypocrisy of these so-called Muslims who are just misguiding the masses. It's just strange, and their hypocrisy always amazes me. I'll be honest with you. They get worse and worse with every claim. So right now the scans that are showing up are quite blurry. I'm just trying to find a good version of Sunan Abi Dawud on just quickly. Give me 1 second. This is also a powerful hadith. It's a prophecy which their own ulama have been quoting in our day and age because of the condition of the Muslims. And for now, I'll quote the English, and then inshallah, if anyone needs the scan, we can share that as well. So this is a powerful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he says, I actually found a good edition, actually. Perfect. So, really powerful hadith. Now, you have to tell me that if these hadiths are fulfilled, which your own ulama have said they're fulfilled, then are we living amongst a living Islam or a dead Islam without Imam Mahdi? The Prophet ﷺ said, and I'll put the hadith on screen so you can actually see the hadith as well and follow along and save these references for hypocrites who try to defame Rasulullah ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ said this: people will soon summon one another to attack you, as people when eating invite others to share their dish. Someone asked, will that be because of our small numbers at that time? He ﷺ said, no, you will be numerous at that time, but you will be scum and rubbish like that carried down by a torrent, and Allah will take fear of you from the breasts of your enemy and last enervation into your hearts. Is this not the condition today? Everyone agrees it is. So is this a living Islam or a dead Islam? Of course it's a dead Islam, except if you accept the Imam Mahdi and Messiah, which is understood by all Muslims that he will revive the faith. Now look at what Shah Waliullah Muhaddith Devi Rahmullah said in the 12th century. He said, the condition of the Jews, if you want to see it in front of your eyes, look at the Muslim scholars. This is what he says, that this is the condition of the Muslim scholars today. Then he says, these people only rejected Isa, the Jews, because of blindly following their ulama. Then Musalmano ki maujuda siyasi kishmakish. Abul Ala Maududi, famous scholar of Jamaat Islam, what does he say? Jamaat Islami, what does he say? He says, from the Muslims, 999 fi hazar out of 1,000, unko Islam ka koi ilm nahi. They do not know anything about Islam. Now unka akhlaqi, even their character is not based on Islam. 999 out of 1,000. Is this living Islam or dead Islam? Nafi Salikin Khwaja Muhammad Sulaiman Thonsvi said, what does he say? Rahmullah. अगर बिलफर्ज इस जमाने में असहाबे नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मौजूद होते तो इस जमाने में के लोगों को काफिर कहते. If the Sahaba came back, they would think the Muslims are kuffar. Living Islam. Then in Chaudhry Afzal Haq Sahib's book, he says, अगर पहली सदी हिजरी का कोई मुसलमान किसी तरह जिंदा होकर मौजूदा हिंदुस्तान में आए तो वो फौरन पुकार उठे कि यहाँ की 80% मुसलमान काफिर हैं. 80% of the Muslims of Hindustan are kuffar if a Muslim from the first century came. Then Abul Kalam Azad also says, Aaj Dunya Phir. He basically here I'll summarize Urdu. He says what the Prophet ﷺ came to, that's what we have turned back to, meaning before the Islah happened. He says that जबकि Islam अपनी गुर्बत अव्वल में मुब्तला था. And he says this is what we're in right now. Everyone has left the teachings of Islam. What does Allama Iqbal say? Their Mujaddid. Waza में तुम हो नसारा. You, Imtiaz, Adnan, you people are like the Christians. To tamaddun mein hunood. You are also like the hunood. Ye Musalman hai, the Hindus. Ye Musalman hai jinhe dekh kar sharmaye Yahud. He says that you people are you people are such that, just give me 1 second. So as you people know, Allama Iqbal is that person who these people love, and they quote his poetry everywhere they go. And they say Rahmullah with his name as well. So what did he say to Adnan and Imtiaz? This is really important, and it will help you people understand what is going on here. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. So here he's saying that you people are like the Christians and like the Hindus. These are Muslims who even the Jews look at and they get ashamed. ये मुसलमान है जिनको देखकर शर्माए यहूद. And I just want to make sure the meaning of hunud, I fully can't remember. Hindustan ke rehne wale. Yeah, so it's mainly the Hindu qawm. Then he says, you to Sayyid bhi ho. You people call yourselves Sayyids as well. Mirza bhi ho, because these are tribes that are well respected. You call yourself Mirzas as well. Afghan bhi ho. You are also Afghanis. Tum sabhi kuch ho. You are everything. Batao to kya Musliman bhi ho. That there's no Muslims left. What are you people talking about? You people are such that the Jews feel ashamed by looking at you. Then let's go forward. Musaddis Hali. Raha deen baki, na Islam baki. No deen left. No Islam left. Ik Islam ka raha is ik Islam ka reh gaya naam baki. Just the name of Islam is left. You people aren't true Muslims. Then Iqtirabu Sa'a. You're Mujaddid Adnan Imtiaz. Why do you people throw them under the bus? Nurul Hassan Khan said, Nawab Siddiq Hassan Khan said's son whom Adnan loves to death. Ab Islam ka siraf naam, Quran ka fakat naqsh baki reh gaya hai. सजदैन जाहिर हैं तो आबाद हैं, मस्जिद जाहिर में तो आबाद है, लेकिन हिदायत से बिल्कुल वीरान हैं. उलमाए रास उम्मत के बदतर, he's basically saying the ulamae ummat are the worst of creatures under the heavens of the earth, under the heavens and the earth. Then Imam Rabbani, I'll skip this reference for now. What does Imam al-Qurtubi rahmullah say? He says, فَعِيسَى عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ إِنَّمَا يَنْزِلُ مُقَرَّرًا لِهَذِهِ الشَّرِيعَةِ وَمُجَدِّدًا لَهَا إِذَا هِيَ آخِرُ الشَّرَائِعِ وَمُحَمَّدٌ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ آخِرُ الرُّسُلِ. He says that Isa alayhi salam will come to give life to the Sharia. He will be a mujaddid for this last Sharia, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last messenger, meaning the last to bring a law in this case, because he's clearly saying Isa alayhi salam will come. Their own translators, what do they say? Shariat ki tajdeed wa ihya ke liye, to do revival of the Sharia and give it life, meaning it's dead. If it's already living, why would they say Isa will come to give it life? Think about that. Then Maududi says something really important. He says that Mujaddideen have come, but he says iska na, he says right here, मगर अकल चाहती है, फितरत मुतालबा करती है, और दुनिया की हालत की रफ्तार मुतकाजे है कि ऐसा लीडर पैदा हो, ख्वाह उस दौर में इस दौर में पैदा हो या जमाने के हजारों गर्दिशों के बाद पैदा हो. उसका नाम इमामुल महदी होगा, जिसके बारे में साफ पेशन गोइयां नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने की. He says that other मुजद्दिदीन came. He says तारीख पर नजर डालने से मालूम होता है कि अब तक कोई मुजद्दिद कामिल पैदा नहीं हुआ, meaning mujaddidin came but none of them were complete mujaddidin, and the complete one will be Imam al-Mahdi. Imam ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah has said the same, that he will come as a mujaddidan li amr al-Islam, he will come to revive Islam. Sharul Alama az-Zarqani has said this as well. Then if you turn to Rafi Uthmani Said's book, Alamat-e-Qiyamat or Nuzul-e-Masih, what does he say? He says, Hazrat Urwa bin Ruwaym rahimahullah se mursal and riwayat, there's a riwayah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ummat Muhammadiyya ka behtareen dor wo hai, the best time for the ummah is awwal dor or aakhir. और अव्वल में रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम और आखिर में ईसा इब्न मरियम, और इन दोनों के माबैन, between these two, meaning the best time is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Messiah. Then he says in between बेदोंगे basically it says that the middle are the worst of the people, and I am not from, they are not from me. Then another riwayah says that अव्वल में मैं हूँ महदी और आखिर में ईसा, लेकिन दरमियान ज़माने में एक कजरू जमात होगी, वो मेरे तरीके पर नहीं, meaning the middle people are not from me, they don't follow my way. It's in Kanzul Ummal as well. Khayaru ummati awaluha, the best of my ummah is the start, wa akhiruha, and the end, and then in the middle is a'waja laysu minni, they are not from me, wa lastu minhum, I am not from them. Another hadith, he says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says the best of ummah is me, then the end, I'm in the start, he says in the end, and between that is a crooked period. Laysu minka, they are not from you, walastu minhum, and I am not from them. So As-Sawaiq al-Muharraka, famous book, and this the same is mentioned as well. Now we turn to the 10 lies of Imtiaz. So we have just addressed the first one. The first one was Islam is dead without MGA, meaning Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, as derogatory term they say MGA. But before I answer the second question, I want to show something really important to the brothers. There's two important videos I want to share, and you will understand what's going on when you see these videos, inshallah. I'm just finding the exact video. It should be this one. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I wasn't planning to actually show this video, so I just need to find it, but it's really important. I'll show the first one, and then we'll go to the next one, inshallah. So this is just testimonies from their own ulama to show the hypocrisy of these people, that they do not care of what's being said. Yeah, this is one video that I want to show, and then I just remembered one reference I forgot to show, that I'll show next. So now I want you to look at this video first. Yeah, let's go to this video, inshallah.
आज उम्मत ने दीन को तो नापिस नहीं किया, हाल ये है हर कोई ये तिलावत करता है कि वमा वस्वैना बिही इब्राहीमा व मूसा व ईसा अन अकीमुद्दीन वला ततफर्रकू फी.
I apologize for that.
लेकिन हम तकसीम हो गए. फायदा किसको हुआ? फायदा दज्जाल को हुआ, दज्जाली निजाम को हुआ, कादियानियों को हुआ, उनके सरपरस्तों को हुआ. इसलिए लोगों, आज दुनिया में हम 2.25 अरब मुसलमान हैं. आज दुनिया में दुनिया के बड़े नौ समंदर हमारे साथ है। आज दुनिया का 75% तेल पेट्रोल के समंदर मुसलमानों के साथ है। आज दुनिया में 74 लाख फौज आलमी इस्लाम के साथ है। सोने के पहाड़, चांदी के पहाड़, पेट्रोल और डीजल के समंदर, लेकिन इस सब कुछ के होते हुए भी आलमी इस्लाम की मिसाल उस कब्रिस्तान की तरह है जहां लाखों और करोड़ों मुर्दा लाशें तो मौजूद है, लेकिन जिंदगी नहीं है, हरारत नहीं है, जज्बा नहीं है, शौक शहादत नहीं है, जज्बा जिहाद नहीं है। और यही वजह है कि हमारे
Like you just heard, he himself agrees that we are like a dead graveyard of Muslims. We are not living Islam. This is a dead Islam. They themselves accept it. But when it comes to the Imam Mahdi coming and us telling you that yes, you people have moved far away from Islam, then they don't want to accept it. Now look at their other scholar, Dr. Israr Ahmed. So he testifies that the Hadith is fulfilled.
रज़ियल्लाहु तआला अन्हु, हुजूर ने फरमाया यूशिकु अन याति अला नास ज़मानुन, अंदेशा है कि लोगों पर यानी मेरी उम्मत पर एक जमाना ऐसा भी आ जाएगा। अब गिनते जाइए, ला यब्का मिनल इस्लाम इल्ला इस्मुहु, इस्लाम में से उसके नाम के सिवा कुछ नहीं बचेगा। वला यब्का मिनल कुरान इल्ला रस्मुहु, कुरान में से उसके रस्मुल खत, अल्फाज और हुरूफ के सिवा कुछ नहीं बचेगा। उसी की अल्लाह ताला ने जमानत दी है, ये महफूज रहेगा रस्म उस्मानी। मसाजिदुहुम आमिरतुन, उनकी मस्जिदें आबाद तो बहुत होंगी। वहिया खराबुम मिनल हुदा, हिदायत से खाली हो जाएंगी। ये खराब के लफ्ज से, हिया खराबुम मिनल हुदा। व उलमाहुम शर्रुन नास तहता दीमिस समा, और उनके उलमा आसमान की छत के नीचे की बदतरीन इंसान हैं। मिन इंदिहिम तखरुजुल फितनतु व फीहिम तऊद, फितना उन्हीं के अंदर से बरामद होगा, उन्हीं में घुस जाएगा। यानी उनका काम फितना अंगेजी, मुखालिफत, जंगो जिदाल, भड़काना, अपने अपने फिरके के लोगों के जज्बात को भड़काते रहना और मुसलमानों के अंदर इख्तिलाफात को हवा देना, यही उनका काम रह जाएगा। आज जिनको हम उलमा कहते हैं, उनकी अजीम अक्सरियत इस कैफियत से दो चार हो चुकी है।
Now look what he says. He says majority of our scholars today are this, the worst of creatures under the earth. So is that a living group of ulama or dead? It's so clear cut, but of course to oppose Islam, Ahmadiyya, these people will go around lying and opposing us for their own beliefs. Now one reference I want to share is quite important that I have not shared today yet, but it should have been there in this ending right there. So I'll show that as well. Ahmad Raza Khan calls Deobandis and Wahhabi literature urination. And he says that if you drop one drop of urine into a glass of something good, you cannot drink the whole thing. So he calls their books and their teachings urination. So is that living Islam? You people should tell us.